What is something that homeowners believe about lawn care that just isn't true?
I think the biggest mistake that we see homeowners make is overwatering their lawn. When they see their lawn turning brown in Florida, they think it needs more water. And in most situations, it probably needs less water.
Really?
Yeah.
The brown color is not an indicator of
It
that.
is not an indicator.
So today's guest is Scott Spitz. He's the owner and operator of Lawn Doctor of West Palm Beach. He's built a local reputation by doing what actually matters in the service business, showing up consistently, earning trust, taking care of customers so well that neighbors become referrals. Today, we're talking about what it actually takes to grow a local service business, marketing, reputation, referrals, leadership, and building something that lasts. And I'm Kirk Francis, and this is Vibe Your Vibe. So just a real quick teaser, quick thank you for today's sponsor, Maya Soap. I didn't get a soap for you, but you will get one. I'll send you one in the mail.
Thank you.
I'll make sure I get your address to do that. Later in the episode, I'll explain how you can mail the show a postcard or a letter and receive a bar of Maya soap. Quantities are limited. So let's just jump in. So I wanted to know, kind of get to your origins. Are you a local Florida person, or are you also from somewhere else?
I'm a transplant like most of us. I grew up in Illinois. School and work brought me all over the country at different times in my life. I ended up going to FAU for graduate school years ago, not knowing that I would come back and live here, full time in my future. So we moved here 12 years ago. I've been monitoring my own lawn for that time. Been here for 12 years now and happy to be here where I get to wear comfortable clothes every day.
So what happened coming to Florida? What gave you the idea? Were you in lawn care when you're not in Florida, or was that something new when you moved here?
So I was not. I worked in, corporate businesses for most of my career. And one of those brought me to Florida as a sales and marketing or a sales and operations consultant. And we got here and at that point, the kids were starting to get into school. So we decided that regardless of where career opportunities could lead us, we were going to stay in this area.
So was this lawn care, was that something you had, because you said you were in like a sales and marketing corporate kind of role, and then lawn care, those are kind of different sort of things, or are they?
They are. Yes and no. I mean, I have a biology background. So, lawn care isn't too much of a stretch from my initial life passion, I guess. But, being in business, whether you're working for a Fortune 500 company or you're operating your own business, the basics tend to be fairly similar, at least relatable. Basically realized as I got further in my career that it was harder and harder to find a company where my values aligned with the company's values to the point where I could be comfortable going to work every day and be excited about what I was doing. At the same time, it is. And as you get older, I think it becomes more important. At least for me, it did. So I reached a point where I knew that I needed to do something completely different to challenge myself for the last chapter of my professional life, give myself opportunities to learn and grow, but also be in an environment where I would always feel good about what I was doing.
Lawn Doctor, is this a franchise, is my understanding?
It is,
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
So 4 years ago, when I had that realization, I partnered with a franchise broker who presented to me numerous opportunities in our local area. After doing a lot of research, a lot of interviews, talking to a lot of franchisees at different businesses, I settled on Lawn Doctor as the opportunity that was right for me. And I was able to purchase an existing business that had been around for about 10 years when I bought it, and stepped into something that was mature, but still had a lot of opportunity for growth.
So when you bought it, was it just a straight up purchase, or was there like an earn out, or what kind of protections did you have buying an existing business like that to ensure that you're in it and then 6 months later you don't have any customers because now they're working for Lawn Care or us because they moved over with the prior owners?
Yeah. The Lawn Doctor system is geographically based. So we own geographic areas, right? So I own 3 territories which comprise northern Palm Beach County. The people I purchased from are still in business. They own the southern part of Palm Beach County. So they're the Lawn Doctor in the southern part. They are.
Oh, I see.
And so it was great for me because we've stayed collaborators through all the years. They mentored me during my first year or two to help me get off to a good start, avoid any major issues as I learned and became more familiar with the business and kind of kept things moving. So thanks to them for their generous support and guidance as I kind of got my feet wet in the business and was able to keep things moving without any big issues.
That's kind of cool.
I think that's one of the benefits of some franchise systems is you step into a proven business model where you have the entrepreneurial ability to do what you want to do with the business, but you also have the support of the franchisor and hopefully some other franchisees that are going to be there for you and mentor you and help you be successful.
Now, does like a lawn doctor, do they ever have like a annual conference or anything like that where you guys all get together? And
we do. We have typically have an annual conference. We also have regional meetings that we're able to attend. We're owners, so nothing is required of us, but the franchise presents opportunities for us to get together and spend time together and learn from each other, to meet with vendors, learn about new services that we can utilize to benefit our own businesses, learn best practices from each other, and really just advance our own business acumen and understanding of what we might be able to incorporate to help our customers and help our businesses grow. So a lot of opportunities to meet with other people in the industry, gives you a little bit of stability so that you can make good decisions.
So you came in with a sales and marketing background into Lawn Doctor. I'm curious, like they probably already had kind of, okay, this playbook works pretty good for us. This is how we were able to build all of these different territories. Now you're taking over 3. Did you follow that playbook 100%, or did you maybe bring some of your corporate sales and marketing in and put a couple of twists and turns into that?
Yeah. So Lawn Doctor is a very entrepreneurial organization. They really give us all the freedom we want. And they really provide resources for us to utilize. We can choose to follow path A, B, or C. We can set our own service structure, set our own pricing. We develop our own communication patterns with our customers. There's a few things. There's a lot of marketing support through Lawn Doctor that they've developed over the years that is very effective for digital marketing. They also have, systems that we use that are part of the Lawn Doctor kind of program. But for the most part, we get to operate an independent business and just benefit from what the franchisor has to offer. I tried not to change a lot in the beginning. Getting a new owner for these customers who some of them had been with Lawn Doctor for, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. They don't want a lot of change. They just want consistency at that point, right? So I made a few small changes in the beginning, but tried not to do too much because I didn't want to upset the customers any more than they already were from leaving an owner they had known for a decade to somebody who was brand new.
When you took over, did you also get the staff too, or did you have to build your own team?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I inherited two trucks, small business, 2 trucks. I inherited 1 technician who had been with the company for a while, and then I hired 1 on my own.
It's my understanding, because I worked with a company in the past that did lawn care for AT&T Wireless. So they managed the lawn care for all the cellular tower sites. And one of the things I learned working in the business is that you had to have somebody there had to have a license. So I'm curious, are you the guy that has a license, or do you have a license now, or is that the workers that work for you, or how did you manage that whole scenario? Getting into this business brand new? Because Christian and I was interested in a business. It wasn't lawn, but it was another business that required a licensing. And before we got too far into it, we figured out, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to be able to get a license.
Yeah. So that certainly is a challenge in this industry because you're using pesticides and fertilizers that all have regulations associated with them. So you do have to have a license to apply pesticides commercially. And then you also have to have a different license or certification for the fertilization part of it. So there are 2 different pieces. So the technicians get the certifications for the fertilization on their own. I facilitate it because they need to have it. The pesticide license I get as a business. And you're only allowed to get a pesticide license in the state of Florida after you've been doing that work for at least 3 years. So since I was relatively new to the industry, I had to employ somebody who had a license that my business could use for the first 3 years. After 3 years of experience for myself, I was able to go through the coursework and do the certification and get my own license.
I remember the owner of that business, he had multiple state licenses, but he also had like 4 or 5 guys that he was like was facilitating, like, go study and get state of Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And go get the state of Arizona. And because they serviced a very large area for AT&T. I think they called it FSA 5. It was like, it might have been, I'm not sure if it went as far as Arizona. I might be exaggerating there, but I know for sure it was Texas, Louisiana, and then it went all the way north, like up to Minnesota. So these guys had to be somebody in the organization had to be licensed and supervise all those guys out there servicing those properties.
Yeah. There are some federal, laws that apply to our business, but for the most part, it's regulated
by the
state level.
At the state level. Yeah. Interesting. From your experience, so now you've had this business now for, did you say 12?
3.5 years.
3.5 years you've had it. Oh, so you just recently got your license.
Yeah. This last year.
Happened. Wow. Interesting. Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big accomplishment.
It actually felt really good.
Yeah. Because I understand those are, I'm not going to say they're like super hard, but they're not super easy either. You got to know your stuff. You got to study
and
you're not
do due diligence.
Going to wing it. You're not going to wing it.
You're not going to wing it. No, definitely not.
That's the one thing I do know.
Yeah.
So you've been in this 3.5 years. What do you think from your experience now, where do you think your customers are coming from?
So we get our customers really from 3 different buckets. Probably a little under half of our customers come from searching Google and finding us online. So maintaining almost half.
Wow.
Our searches online.
That's a big number.
And then a quarter of the customers come from leads that come from Lawn Doctor. They go to the Lawn Doctor national website or call the Lawn Doctor 800 number, and then they get funneled to us. And then the other quarter come from referrals from existing customers who have a neighbor or a friend that they send our way.
So referrals is a big number.
Yeah, it is. It's important.
Yeah. And those little signs in the yard, they probably help too a little bit.
Yeah. People drive through the neighborhood. They see our signs. They see the truck and they grab the phone number. They see the yard. They give us a call. Hey, your neighbor's yard looks good. I thought I'd call you guys.
Right. Because it's like it's advertised. It's not really the sign. It's the yard.
Yeah.
The yard looks good. And then they see a little sign and they're like, maybe I need to call those guys.
Yeah. We do get a lot of that. A lot of folks will know that they want to do something and that they might see a yard or not. They might see the truck. They'll do a Google search. They'll look us up. And then when they see the Google reviews and the nice things that our customers say about us, then they, give us a shot. So it's really important to make sure that you.
So what I found interesting is I have a neighbor and I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but I'm sure as big as your business is, you've probably ran across this. He rotates his service providers for his lawn cutting and his, I guess, what would you call it? Because it's pesticides and herbicides, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's really confusing, unfortunately, what you call us. Because a lot of people, I just say lawn care, I guess.
Lawn care. So, because you don't do cutting or any of that. But it just seems like he never stays consistent. He's always bouncing around. He's going to use this guy to cut the grass, and he's using this company to do the applications, and then he's going to then switch. And there's no consistency. And I just want to touch base with you because what I have found through my life experience, I was using, and you might even heard of this company in St. Louis. It's called Kimlawn.
Heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a St. Louis, so we're both Midwest. I used them probably, 2-3 years. I'm like, what are they doing? Cancel the service. And then in 3 months, your yard's just a mess.
Yeah.
And what I found over time is that method doesn't work really well. If your yard's looking good, just leave it alone and let those guys do what they need to do. And the part for me that I really like with a company like you and what you're doing is you're keeping me on a schedule and there's a schedule to this. And when I try to do it myself, I'm always like, 2 weeks early, 2 weeks late. I'm never hitting the right time a year. Because I guess you got a little bit of a window, but it's not super big. It's not like 2 months, is it?
Yeah.
So you've got to be pretty consistent in your applications and stuff.
Yeah. We visit our customers 8 times a year. So we're getting out to their property about every 6.5 weeks on average. And everything we do is seasonally based. So when we come out and visit a customer in January, it's different from March, which is different from May, which is different from, the summer and the fall and the winter. So it is important to kind of hit some key critical times throughout the year, but just the consistent attention is what delivers consistent results. As soon as you try to back that off and you have less treatments, or if you're doing it yourself and you don't give it the attention it deserves, you're just not going to have the results that you're looking for. So you literally
every 6 weeks, you're doing something.
We are. Yeah. It's always a mix
of. That's a pretty big commitment if you're wanting to do it yourself. Do you do your yard?
I do.
You do.
I do my yard. Yeah.
Are you on the schedule?
I'm not.
You're not on the schedule?
I got to admit, I use my lawn as a little bit of a guinea pig.
Oh, okay.
I test things out, right? I test different fertilizer rates. I test different pesticides. I test different timing on different things to see how it affects my lawn and my shrubs. And sometimes it works great and sometimes it doesn't. So if you drove by my house today, there are areas that maybe don't look as good as you would think from a lawn doctor, but it's because I'm testing things all the time and trying to see how far I can push it and change my watering schedule, change my weed control, change my fertilization, and what does that do? So what I learned from myself, I can apply, to our customers and to our business. Hopefully,
so for someone that's going to come hire you fresh, you're coming into your lawn, maybe they've got a gap in their applications and in lawn care, and maybe they don't. What's a reasonable expectation on how long it's going to take to turn something around for them?
Yeah, it depends on where we're starting and what time of year it is. So right now we're in the spring, and we're recording this in the early spring. So we're going to see progress quickly. Okay. Right? The growing season is starting. We get the weeds under control. We apply fertilizer aggressively. You're going to see a lot of growth and greening and improvement over the next couple of months. When we start customers in the fall or in the winter, we can get the weeds under control right away, but you're not going to get a lot of growth because the grass is semi-dormant. So it's a different timeline. Really important thing that we do is we go and visit every potential customer before we ever take them on as a new customer. We want to see their lawn, see what issues they're dealing with, because we want to make sure that if we're going to start in this together, we're going to have the same expectations with the same timelines so that we can deliver what you're expecting us to deliver.
I'm trying to remember why I even called you. I think I just got tired of trying to manage it myself, and I kept missing my times.
Yeah.
And so it was just, it was just frustrating for me to hit those regular application times. And now you're telling me I didn't even realize it I can tell you right now, when I was doing it, it was not every 6 weeks.
And not everybody does that. It depends on the type of fertilizer you're using and the type of products you're using. You could stretch it out a little bit, but we customize every treatment. So when we come to a customer's house, the fertilizer types we're using, the concentrations we're using are specifically developed by us to maximize results for that exact time of year. So we get to do a targeted treatment 8 times a year. Right. So we're going to be far more precise than what a homeowner can do buying a product off the shelf.
My personal experience is that it just isn't that much more money. And I guess, with your ability, I guess you're buying bulk and handling it that way. I don't know. For me, from a price perspective, it just wasn't. And then the time to go out and do it. We do cut our own grass. I'd rather spend that time cutting my grass. That's something easier. Or I have Christian cut the grass or chase them down to do it. I want to get back into marketing a little bit. So if a local business owner is struggling to get customers, what is the most important marketing lessons you've learned so far in the last 3 years running your own business?
I'll give you 2. One is it's easier to keep a customer than to find a customer. So we do everything we can genuinely to do a great job for our customers. Yeah, we lose customers. People move. Some people don't have the results they're looking for. They're impatient. Something happens. They're not happy about it. So we certainly lose customers, but we really, really try to stay ahead of it and do a great job because we want the customers to be happy and we don't want to lose them. We want to keep them. So the best way to grow our business is to keep our customers, number one. The second thing is, when you do a great job, you want to make sure that your Google reviews reflect those results because people go online and they search and they look at the review score and they read those reviews. I can't tell you how many times I step onto a potential new customer's lawn. And one of the first things they say is, "Hey, I read your Google reviews. They're really good. So I called you." So you got to have a great online presence to win these days with any kind of a marketing effort.
Happy customers turn into more customers, and the Google review is it. So this is a question for the audience, for the folks out there that hire people. When you try a new local business, where do you usually find them? Is it from a friend? Is it a Google search with a Google review? Or are you driving past a truck or a sign? So put that down in the comments. I'd be interested to find out. So for you, you're like kicking it, man. You've got 312. I checked this morning.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I guess I was going to say that didn't happen by accident, did it?
No, did not happen by accident. For my first 2.5 years, we just did things kind of old school, right? We tried to do a great job. We would occasionally ask customers if they wouldn't mind doing a review for us, but we didn't do anything special, and we got about 60 reviews a year on average. Wow. Yeah. Just from customers who.
So you've been in 3 years. Spread their word. Let's do the math here. In 3 years, so that would have been about 120. Well, some of those now reviews, you're more than double.
Yeah. Some of those reviews from before I bought the business.
Okay.
Right. So there were, I think it was under 100 when I bought the business.
Under 100.
Right. And so then we added to that quite a bit, but not like we have
possibly
recently.
Close to double. And now you're actually accelerating it.
Now we're going like crazy. Again, you got to deliver for the customer first, right?
Well, yeah, that's number one.
but once you deliver for the customer, inviting them to do a Google review is important. We use a texting service now so that when we complete a service for a customer, they're going to get a text from us. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that text will ask them if they would like to do a Google review. And just that simple invitation after the service is complete has really helped us get a lot more feedback from our customers. Texting is the best way to communicate these days as a small business. Mm-hmm. So
you didn't have a lot of resistance in people wanting to share their phone number with you?
Oh, no, not at all. No, our customers happily share their phone number, and almost everybody shares an email address, and we communicate primarily through email, but also now through more texting, and phone calls is less frequent, but we do that also. Yeah.
I'm a horrible customer in that sense. I think I've literally probably been asked, I'm not going to lie, I would say a minimum of 3 dozen times.
Okay.
I think you said I've been a customer I actually read my Google review and you replied to it. And he said, I've been a customer for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So literally I've probably been asked like every time I've had some sort of service done.
Okay.
I've been asked.
Yeah.
For sure by the technician.
And not just from Lawn Doctor, but from every other vendor who you work with too, right?
Right. Yeah. And I guess that's where the noise comes in.
Yeah.
Everybody's after these reviews. Mm-hmm. And then I saw Jose and he remind me, we just had an application a couple of weeks ago. And that's when I left there. I was like, oh, I promised him I was going to do that like a year ago. And I finally got it done.
Yeah.
So it's just, what do you think motivates somebody to leave a review? For myself. Again,
I'll go back to, you have to earn it. You have to do a great job. Right. And then
you have to ask.
And you have to ask, you have to make it easy. So what we used to do is we made up these little business cards that had a QR code on it. And it would basically say, hey, would you mind giving us a Google review? And customers could use their phone, scan the QR code, and it would take you to the Google review page. The texting solution that we use now is better because they get a text on their phone. Would you mind doing a review? They click the link, and immediately on their phone, they don't even have to think about it. They just click the link, and now they can, give us the rating, type in a comment.
I think that might have been how I actually got to it.
Yeah. So making it easy is a big part of it because people want to do it. Right. But when they want to do it, they still.
Yeah. If you're receiving good service, you're not no different than if you go to a restaurant, you want to leave a tip.
You do.
It's no different in that sense.
Yeah. And so you just got to make it easy enough for them to act on that immediate impulse, because as soon as they move on to the next thing, they're thinking about their kids or their job.
They got 20 other things hitting for their attention.
And we're out of their thought process.
Right.
So any small business has got to make it easy for their customers to share feedback, or you're just not going to get it. You mind sharing the
system that you're using? Because you just shared it with me.
Yeah. We use a system called Applause. It's a vendor, right? Mm-hmm. And so we pay them a monthly fee to send these text messages to our customers to compile the results.
And it ties in with your CRM kind of system, so that you don't have to even think about it. It just happens.
Fully automated. We have apps on our phones. The technicians can see the results come in. The main reason I signed up for it is because I wanted to improve our customer service. I wanted to be able to reward our technicians for doing a great job. And it's hard to do that when you don't have a pulse on what's really happening in the field, right? Mm-hmm. So what better way to reward them for doing a great job than for allowing our customers to give us more frequent and more accurate feedback. So this Applause system allows us to communicate with our customers to get great feedback. And I can then use that to reward the team for doing a great job. So I know when customers appreciate them because the customers are telling us, as opposed to guessing and not knowing.
Right. So, and there's even as easy as you're making it, there's still a little bit of friction there. They actually have to go out there and do it. So if a customer goes in, which technicians are hitting those yards.
Yeah. they're doing a good,
And
they're
so-
earning it, right?
so
they're
they're
earning
earning
it.
it, yeah.
And so I get to thank the technicians. I get to, share the results with them. And they take pride in doing a great job. They appreciate the feedback, and I get to reward them for doing a great job for our customers. So it's a win for everybody. It fosters a positive customer service culture in our business, positive feelings from the technicians. When they do a great job, they're going to get recognized for it. And it's easy for our customers to share feedback with us so we can use that feedback to get better.
Here's another question let's ask the audience. When choosing a business, which matters more, Google reviews or recommendations from friends? So put that answer down in the comments. So I wanted to dive in. So you've mentioned Google reviews specifically. Have you played around with any other online review platforms?
Not directly. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have
probably have something out there. I mean,
yeah, we don't really tie into anything else. Google is just so dominant. Mm-hmm. We put our effort into, I guess, the biggest part of the market, and that's Google. For better or for worse, that's where everybody goes. And so that's where we concentrate our efforts. I mean,
so right now you're really liking the Google reviews.
Helps us out a lot.
Negative reviews. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you probably have one out there. I mean, I don't think anybody's immune to a negative review.
We got a couple, yeah.
How do you handle those when you get them?
First thing I do is I contact the customer. I want to find out what's going on. I want to talk to them, learn from their experience. I want to fix it. If I can fix it, if they'll communicate with me, I'm going to do everything I can to make it right. If they're not going to communicate with me, I'm going to move on.
Does Google allow you, if I leave you a 1-star review, does Google allow me, you go and fix it and I go like, oh, well, I feel kind of bad about that because you did come out and you fixed everything. Maybe I need to raise them up to a 4-star. Does Google allow me to go in there and change my rating?
I think so, but I've never.
Have you had any of that happen?
No.
With your low? How many of these have you had? Because I looked out there and I couldn't tell. Was there just like one? There's only like maybe 1 or 2, right?
In my 3 years, I think we've had 3 bad reviews.
Three total. Yeah. And they're still out there.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Wasn't anything you could do. Have you had it? So one of the things that I found talking with another lawn care company up in St. Louis, he had several reviews out there that were just fake. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had to deal with that yet?
Haven't had fake, but I've had them that were not truthful.
Okay. He's had to deal with that one too.
Yeah. So when you look at, the statements that are made and you go back to the customer's record and I talk to the technicians who were servicing the customer, maybe I've interacted with a customer. There's a text chain, there's an email chain. I can go back and I can validate what part of that statement is reality and what part of it is not. And so sometimes it's embellished. Sometimes it's just not accurate. Maybe the person doesn't remember it correctly. They certainly have their perception, their thoughts on what happened. And I don't want to discredit that because it's still valuable feedback for us. But when it just doesn't match
there's a
up,
breakdown to the community. It could be that you got one person paying the bill and another one that's actually meeting up with the technician. And so there's a breakdown in,
sometimes the household communication is
the
an
household
opportunity.
Communication may not be 100%. Like, why am I paying this bill every month? I never see this guy, but they never actually talk to the person that's there at the house when the guy comes. They're like, oh yeah, he comes every 6 weeks. He's here,
Yeah.
And,
so when I see a bad review, and again, it hasn't been very often, fortunately, but I want to fix it. And so I'm going to reach out to the customer and let's have a conversation. Let's figure out what's going on. And what
are there any specific lessons that you've learned from these negative reviews that you could share that would be something maybe you'd be willing to share?
They've been so infrequent. I wouldn't say there's like a pattern or something that I can learn from, but just again, do a great job, do a good job. And I think that the 2 things that my team and I really focus on is number one, we have to do a good job. But you also have to communicate with a customer, because if you do A, B, and C, the customer doesn't know you did A, B, and C. In their mind, you didn't do it. So the results matter, but the actions you're taking are also really important. So communicating with the customers in a proactive manner about what you're doing, what's going on with their lawn or their shrubs or their trees, and what you're doing to address it, or what they can do to help you address it. Those are things that really are critical.
Back to what you actually were saying is that, the reality of the situation is that they weren't maybe truly understanding the situation where there could be a breakdown in all that communication. Like you just said, you did A, B, and C. You didn't actually somehow, maybe there's a breakdown in the communication. The customer didn't realize that you did A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. And so that's where things kind of can get off the rails.
Right.
Is that just, so I'm going to take the lesson right from you and just say, like, the lesson is communication, maybe.
It's
a big deal.
It's one of our 4 core principles.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to communicate with our customers.
And you mentioned earlier, when you go out and meet them for the first time, you're actually going to go and look at the lawn and walk the lawn with them, and then set expectations, which again is part of that communication, right? You know, if your lawn's a mess, you're looking at maybe, 6 months, 8 months, based on the type of the season of the year and this and that. It could take that long, maybe.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong in that?
You're absolutely right. And it takes a lot of effort to go to every customer before you take them on as a customer, right? So there's a lot that goes into that. It's a big commitment from us to make sure that we're starting on the same page and that we have good expectations for the next 3, 6, 12 months. But it avoids the situation where someone wants to write a bad review, bringing it back to Google, right? So you get there up front, you get on the same page.
My yard's not green after 1 week and you first apply something.
Yeah. But that's part of that initial conversation is here's what you should expect.
It's not going to become this beautiful lawn in 1 week.
Absolutely. So we set the right expectation. We want to exceed that expectation. I make sure when I'm doing an evaluation for a customer that we're having that necessary conversation. So I'm setting us up for success. I'm setting them up for happiness with the results they're going to get. And we get the time we need to deliver, because they understand what it's going to take after we talk.
And that probably lowers your whole stress level too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's a lot easier just to be just straight with them. Like, we're not going to be able to turn this around in 2 weeks or 3 months or whatever it is.
And there are times when I'll evaluate a customer's lawn and I'll just say, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. It happens every week. We'll go out and do an evaluation. And unfortunately it's all weeds, or it's crabgrass, or the damage is so severe, there's not enough St. Augustine left to honestly recover back to a healthy lawn, and they need to sod. And so I'll tell them that up front. I'm not going to be able to help you. I don't want to take your money.
I can kill it all.
And we do that too, right? If they're preparing for sod, we'll kill all the weeds and make sure they don't damage the new sod. But if
there's no grass there, there's not a lot that you can do.
And there are a lot of companies that just do estimates over the phone, right? You'll call a company and say, hey, I want to get a quote for a service. They'll tell you, oh yeah, we can start next week. It's going to be $85 a treatment. They have no idea what they're walking into.
Oh, it could be a whole yard of weeds with no St. Augustine there.
It may be completely unrecoverable, but to be honest, they don't care. They just want to get the new customer and start getting those checks.
Right.
I don't want to do that, because I want to deliver every single time for the customer. And I can't do that if I'm taking on a lawn that can't be recovered.
Interesting. So you go out and look at every single new prospect and find out, is this something that we can take on and get good results? And
another reason I think that's so important is because it immediately opens the lines of communication.
And that feeds back to your Google review being so good.
They immediately know, if I have a problem, I can call Scott. He was here. We looked at my lawn together. We've talked. I've got his card. I know his phone number. I can text him. I can email him, and I'll respond to everything same business day or the next day at the very latest. So getting those communication channels open helps us and it helps the customer, because if there is a question or a concern, they know they can reach out to me and I'm going to address their issue. They don't have to get frustrated.
Right.
Just give me a call. Let me know what's going on and we'll take care of it.
Yeah. I have to say, over the last 2.5 years, always been very quick communication on your part.
Thank you. It's good to hear.
We've been talking about the reviews. Do you which ones do you read?
I read almost all of them.
Almost all of them.
And respond to all of them. I hired an admin late last year. Until then, I did it all myself. But finally, I had to hire an admin. So
that's actually good news, right?
It is. So she reads the reviews and she responds to them. And I'll go online every week a couple of times and I'll look at what's going on with the reviews. So I read almost all of them, and I used to respond personally to all of them, but now she does most of the responding, but I still review them.
Interesting. Do you have a system that you use for that, or just using the Google system?
I just go online and look at the reviews. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we get reports into our email every time somebody does a review. Through our marketing company that we use, but I go online and check them out.
Speaking of marketing, I'm just curious, what kind of content and social media marketing do you actually do for your business?
Again, with the addition of the admin to our team, she's taken that on and she does a great job. So she, monitors our Facebook page. She handles our Google page as well. She updates postings, photos on Facebook. She'll join various community clubs and groups, and she'll post little things on there about our business and respond to things if people contact us. So she monitors that, and she updates it a couple of times a week with some new content, new information, and the technicians gather photos and send them to her every week so that she has new stuff to share. But it's a thing that we're still developing. We're getting better at it. And I think it'll become more important as we invest more time and energy and expertise into it. But
I'm not a big fan of Meta, but curious if you have looked at other platforms like Nextdoor.
Not as much. No. Our target customer, I think, is a Facebook user.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we focus primarily there. I'd like to get a little more into Instagram. But at this point, we're focused more on Facebook to get that one going.
And
we'll
how often do you
out.
think you need to post on there?
She posts on there a couple times a week.
You think that's sufficient?
I think so. Again, we're new at it. So
you're new at it.
Yeah.
So you don't really have much. So my view is, I'll just share my view. I think social media is kind of like where the yellow pages used to be. I mean, they're going to check it, make sure you guys have a pulse.
Yeah.
A couple times a week, I think, is more than adequate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any need for you to be posting 3 times a day.
No. We don't do anything like that. We try to post kind of just photos of things we do,
right.
Good looking lawn, good looking shrubs
Here's what
or trees.
Do.
But we also try to post photographs of things that are happening, issues that are happening, brown patch fungus or an insect issue with a plant or a fungal issue with a plant, just to help educate folks who are checking it out. They can see what we do. They can see what they might be experiencing in their own lawn. And if they learn what it is, maybe they'll give us a call and give us a shot to fix it for them.
I think that education approach is probably you're going to find a lot of success there.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be really good. Do you know that have you generated any customers from your social media efforts?
We know we've gotten a few. Mm-hmm. I think we've probably gotten more, but I know of at least a few who have said that that's where they found us.
That's where they found you, or the social media. So they actually mentioned that to you.
Yeah.
All right.
They mentioned it to me, or when they contacted Jesse, our admin, they told her that, hey, this is how I found you.
Right. Mm-hmm. What about direct mail? Have you ever played around with that?
I did a very strategic direct mail effort last fall. We picked neighborhoods throughout our territory that were really high quality neighborhoods for us, really in the heart of our target demographic. And we sent out about 6,600 direct mail cards to those customers. Did not have any success at all, unfortunately.
Didn't have any success. That's interesting. Was that an EDDM or was it direct mail?
It was every door delivery, but it was in targeted mail routes to the neighborhoods that we wanted to hit.
Yeah. Were you guys already servicing those routes?
Yes.
And you didn't get any results because you're monitoring those routes and saw that those routes, additional customers on those routes didn't really have a bump.
Yeah. Well, that, and we put a promotion on the flyer, the direct mailer.
And they would have had to call you and say, hey, I want this promotion.
Yeah.
So you never got any phone calls for the promotion.
Very small number. Yeah.
And then how big of a piece was that?
It was pretty big. It was
like a 6.5 by 9. Probably.
Yeah, it was a pretty good size card. Yeah, it was about that size.
And then how many times did you hit those guys up?
We just sent it out one time.
Oh, one time.
Oh, the response was so bad. I was not about to invest in that avenue again.
You guys did that yourself, or you had somebody do it for you?
We used a company that, Lawn Doctor used. Mm-hmm.
Oh, a Lawn Doctor. Got a reference from Lawn Doctor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have preferred vendors through Lawn Doctor that we can reach out to do different types of things. And I just decided to use a preferred vendor for this.
Did any of your other Lawn Doctor franchisees ever mention success with that?
Some have had some success. Most have told me that they have not had a lot of success with direct mail efforts.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I consistently hear from my peers is more digital, more digital, more digital.
More digital.
Mm-hmm. Pay-per-click, Google, paid Google, a little bit of social media.
You did those routes one time or more than one time?
Did it one time.
A one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not sure about that one time. I think that's also can throw a wrench into your results too.
Yeah. If I had a little more success, I might have tried it again.
Yeah.
But
you definitely sent enough out there.
Yeah.
Did you get even one?
I got 2 new customers.
2 new customers on 6,600 pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, those numbers don't work.
Terrible hit rate. Yeah.
So there's a question for the audience. I have a question.
Yeah.
So when the marketing mail shows up in your mailbox, what usually happens? Straight to the trash? I glance at it for a few seconds. It sits on the counter for a while before getting tossed. Tell us which one down in the comments. Sounds like yours just went straight to the trash.
Seems like it.
I don't know, because I'm a marketing guy, and I was told that you're super into the marketing side of things. So that's why I'm kind of focused on the marketing side.
All right.
How important is the visibility in your neighborhoods, like your trucks and your little yard signs? Do you have actual cases where, oh, I saw your truck in my neighborhood, or I saw that? Because you mentioned like 25% is referral. Would you count that kind of like the referral business side of things? Yeah,
it would be included in that bucket. It's quite a bit. Every week I probably talk to a customer who says, I saw your truck, or I saw your sign, or I saw my neighbor's yard, and so I called you.
I'm curious because I know my mom's mentioned this, my mother. This is her little thing.
Okay.
I'm just curious, how often do you wash your trucks?
We wash our trucks. We do a detailed clean inside and out at the end of every round. So about every 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. They stay pretty clean. I mean, they look pretty good. Now,
right.
When you get inside the cabinets and stuff, that's where they need.
She sees some other vendors.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names because I wouldn't even know who they are, but I'm just letting you know there are people out there that notice. Yeah. My mother's being one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, his truck is always clean. She says the same thing about her lawn care, the lawn cutting service. It's like, oh, I like him because his truck's always clean.
Yeah. Everything makes a difference to somebody. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one little detail. Well, if he keeps his truck clean, he's going to keep my yard looking nice. I guess somehow they make that a connection. I don't know.
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail.
In business. Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, plus I guess just driving around the road, it probably gives you more business driving around the neighborhood and having it parked out front of the house and just going down the highway, I would think.
Yeah. The highway, I don't think helps us out, but when they see it in the neighborhood, it catches their eye.
Right.
And they take a picture of the truck or put the phone number in their phone.
Do you like on my street? I should have prompted you for this because you don't have your system in front of you, but yeah. I do know that you have more houses now than you did 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is that the typical trend? Like once you land on a particular street, how does that work?
Well, hopefully. I mean, we certainly want neighbors to see the lawns and get excited and give us a call. I mean, in 3 years, we've doubled our business. So
doubled it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you would expect that if we had 2 houses 3 years ago, we would have 4 houses on your block now.
I think it's
the same
more
territory, right?
Yeah, I know it's more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got we're getting it from the Christian or six houses.
6 on the, okay.
6 on there.
That's a good block.
Was I the first one? Yeah, 6 houses now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know you just added my mom's neighbor. You've already thanked her for that. So we're real happy with the service, and that's the main thing is that we're super happy with it. We don't mind sharing.
I appreciate your support.
Why don't you call a lawn doctor? Like my yard looked well, and unfortunately she's got a neighbor that doesn't do anything and his stuff's all creeping in. But your technician is pretty nice because he actually oversprays about 4 or 5 feet just so he can kind of keep it over that way.
We're usually able to maintain a pretty good property line.
Yeah, it's pretty well maintained. Yeah. It's, keeping it on the other side. So, you were in corporate for a while and now you're running your own business. I'm curious because you probably get a lot of help support from Lawn Doctor. What is the leadership lessons that you've learned along the way running your own business now for 3.5 years?
I don't know that I've learned anything running my own business that I hadn't already learned in my career in various leadership positions, right? Every accomplishment I've had in my career of any significance has been working with other people. The people I work with are critical to the success of my business and the happiness of our customers. So hiring the right people is as true in my business now as it ever was before, right? And I have a small team, 4 technicians. We're a small company.
So you got 4 trucks?
4 trucks, 4 techs, and they've all got to be superstars. You can't afford to have somebody who's not great.
So right, you can't, no.
It's really important to hire the right people, give them the right training. I guess you got 5 trucks,
technically. You got Scott's truck.
I got my pickup truck. So right? Yeah, so 4 spray trucks and my pickup truck. But you can't afford to have a bad person. It's too important to the customer service to have everybody aligned, everybody working together as a team with good communication, integrity, executing the program, and really doing what it takes to make the customer happy. So everybody has to be committed to that in a small business like this. And it was true in my other organizations too, but it's just, I think it's amplified when you're dealing with just,
you don't have a lot of room for having somebody that can't be hitting on all cylinders, right?
And one person owns 25% of your customers. So if you have a bad technician, that's 25% of your customers who probably aren't happy. That's not a good recipe for success. So, hire the right people, take care of them, treat them right, communicate, have a good culture on your team, make sure everybody's aligned with your company values and priorities, and then, go take care of people.
So what are some of your strategies for making sure you get the right people hired?
I try to hire people that we already know. Everybody on my team did not really come to me cold. They were referred by other technicians, essentially, right? Or they were referred by other lawn doctors. I have hired a couple of people cold over my tenure, and they didn't work out. So I think the key is develop a good team and develop an organization where you're going to attract good talent, because your team wants their people they know to come and be a part of the good team.
So if you develop a good work environment, then the people that are already working for you are like, oh, if they hear somebody's like, I'm looking for a job, you should come over here to what we got going on. It's pretty nice.
And it even goes beyond that. It's a small community, these technicians. They've worked for different companies in the past, and they've worked with different people.
So they all talk.
They stay in touch, they talk, and someone gets a new job and they hear what it's like working over there. And so, you want your technicians to be saying good things about their experience at the company. And when they do, then other people hear that and they think, oh, that's a place I'd like to work someday. So it becomes easier to attract top talent when you have.
As a technician, you got to have this license, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you, chicken or the egg? It's like, how do you get there?
Well, I have the license. And so the technicians work under my license.
Okay.
For the pesticide, right? And then people who are already in the industry, experienced technicians, will already have their fertilizer certificate that lasts for 3 years. So,
but how do you start and get your fertilizer certificate? You work for somebody that has a pesticide certificate and you do the pesticides, and I guess you kind of get your foot in the door? Or?
The fertilizer one is easy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that one you just take an online test and you get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one's easy. The pesticide one is the one that's more regulated and it requires a 3-year waiting period. So now that I have that, all my technicians just work under mine.
So here's one for you. So you've had a lot of years of experience in corporate and everything. What's the leadership mistake that taught you a big lesson?
I think the thing that was most painful for me in my career was when the decisions that were made by leadership had a negative effect on the people in the organization. If your priority is on shareholders or bottom line, you got to make sure that the decision you make aren't hurting your people. Because I've been a victim of that. My teams have been victims of that. And it's hard for somebody who cares about your team to see them suffer because of decisions that are being made by an organization that don't prioritize them. Mm-hmm. Probably the main reason that I went into business for myself was so I wouldn't have to make those decisions, right? I could make the decisions. Right,
because it just keeps going down. You have no control over it.
Well, your people are unhappy, and then everything gets worse, right? Your customer service goes down, your sales go down, your business deteriorates. So you got to take care of your people. Yeah. And so seeing businesses make other decisions for other reasons and hurting the people and in the long term hurting the business is a lesson I learned without having to do it myself.
You got to really watch out and understand that if you don't have the people there, that's a big part of how you're existing as an organization.
Unless you're an organization of one.
Or right? Robots or something. So you've got a local service business. If somebody wanted to start a local service business tomorrow, what do you think they should focus on? What should be step number one, given that you're kind of in the right spot to ask that question?
I'll tell you what our values are. And I think that's where you start. Right. The number one value that we have is people, and the people includes our team and our customers.
Both.
So that's the foundation of our business, right? I got to take care of our team, and we all have to take care of each other and take care of our customers. So the people is the foundation of our business. The second thing that we value is integrity. So we've got to do the right thing. whether people are watching or not. Our technicians go out and they work, a full day on their own. They're solo. And some customers have cameras, some customers are home, but many of them aren't. And it's important that we deliver that service with integrity every single time and that we make decisions for our customers doing the right thing. So integrity is critical to us. We have to be open and honest with each other, and we have to do the right thing, whether people are watching or not. The third pillar for us is execution. We got to execute the program, get the details right, whether it be the application to the lawn, the shrubs, the trees, the route, taking care of the equipment, mixing the tank to deliver the right treatment for the customer, communicating with the customer. We got to execute our program to make sure we're delivering the right results. And then the fourth piece, as I mentioned before, is communication. We have to communicate with each other, communicate with our customers, whether that be in writing, on the phone, or through text messages. We have to make sure that we're keeping those lines open so that the customers know what we've done. And when they have any kind of a question, concern, or issue, they're going to be happy to reach out to us and bring us into the fold and resolve it instead of just let it fester into a problem that can't be solved. So I would focus on those things. Get the right team, act with integrity, deliver what you're supposed to deliver, and make sure you're communicating really well with your customers.
So you kind of answered this question already. I was going to say, if you had to go back day one, you had 0 customers, knowing what you know now, what would you do? And probably make sure you got the right team.
Yeah, I'd keep it simple. And if it was just me or if I had a team, I'd keep it simple and make sure we were delivering whatever services we were offering, do a great job for the customer.
So here's one to kind of give you a chance to rehash it. 3.5 years ago, you made a decision. If you had to start over all again from scratch, you're going out and you're looking, you haven't made a choice on Lawn Doctor yet. What industry or business would you think you'd be interested in?
I would definitely choose this again. It's been a great industry.
It's been a really good industry.
It's so far exceeded my expectations.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I mean, not just professionally, but personally, my life is just different. Owning my own business and having a successful business. My personal time is more enjoyable. I get to make the decisions that I want to make to take care of my team and my customers without having some corporate structure to limit what I can do. Right. So the freedom to take care of my team and take care of my customers and value them the way that I do is really important to me. So I would definitely do this again. But just the industry in general and this particular business has been great. And I think one thing that, makes it good for us is it's a residual type of income business, right? We have customers who employ us for an indefinite period of time, and we do multiple services per year, year after year. And we can kind of count on an amount of income to come in. We're not always earning the next job, right? We build a book of business and it kind of just rolls along. And then we just try to grow that snowball, right? So I think the residual aspect of this business makes it more stable, more predictable, and more appealing. Yeah.
So for those out there, that really is a big deal. It's a really big deal because you go and you work this month to find as an example, how many customers do you probably go add in a month's period?
In an average, it varies a lot by time of year, but on average, let's say we add 40 new customers.
Really? Now, there was not this recurring component over a year's period. You have to go out and get 500 new customers every month.
Yeah, it's impossible.
To replace 1 year, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
How could you even do that?
Yeah. The residual aspect of a business completely changes the game.
Yeah. It's something that I figured out right around just before COVID. I was doing some work and we were going after one customer at a time. And then I got a new customer that was a recurring customer. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's just life-changing.
Yeah. Well, look at huge tech companies. The biggest tech companies in the world are successful because they've converted their business from selling computers and monitors and printers once a year or every few years to a service-related residual business where you're paying them a monthly fee for cloud storage or software or streaming, right? So it's just a much better business model. It's good for the customer too because it's predictable. They know what their fees are going to be. They agree to pay this to get this every single month, We
don't have a special offer for the listeners, but you do have a typical offer. And so I thought I'd give you the opportunity to just mention what that is.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we typically don't do any offers at all locally. But Lawn Doctor does offer 50% off the first lawn service through Facebook. So we can offer that to, customers who want to give us a call. We service northern Palm Beach County. So from, Lantana and Lake Worth up to Tequesta and Jupiter area, and then out west to Wellington, Arden, Loxahatchee. But
and what's your Facebook page?
It's Lawn Doctor West Palm Beach.
On this podcast, I always like to talk. The name of the podcast is Vibe Your Vibe. What does vibing your vibe mean as a lawn doctor business owner?
It's a very abstract question. Definitely not my wheelhouse. Vibe your vibe.
Every voice has a frequency, so that's like the little subtext there.
Okay,
that's actually a forgot what they call that, but that's me saying vibe your vibe.
Okay,
I recorded my voice, and that's the There's a technical name of what that is. Somebody can help me out. Put it in the comments.
I want to say sonogram, but it's not quite a sonogram.
Yeah, there's some kind of a gram.
Yeah. For me, I think I spent a lot of years, working for some great companies and some great people and some that were not great. For me professionally, being able to have my own business and vibe my own vibe has really, like I said, transformed my life. So it's better for me, better for my family, my kids. My time is far more enjoyable than it was when someone else was trying to dictate what I should be doing. So for me, vibing my vibe professionally allows me to vibe my vibe personally and really just get the most out of life with my family, which is what really matters.
That's cool. So here's, before we wrap, here's the Maya Soap Challenge. I'm challenging you folks. I know it's going to be really hard. So if you're a real human listening to this podcast, here's the deal. And we want to know, send us a postcard or a letter. And I know that's got a lot of friction. Nobody sends mail very much. You got to go out and get a stamp. So put your name, address, where you're listening from, your contact info, and I will get you a bar of Maya soap mailed back to you. I got the address here. Is Vibe Your Vibe, 6586 Hypoluxo Road, number 101, Lake Worth, Florida, 33467. It'll be down in the description. I do have to mention quantities are limited. Follow this show. If you like the content here, you get a chance to meet some of the local business folks out there doing great service to the community. Leave a comment, maybe a lesson that you learned here that stood out, and share the episode with somebody else that runs a business. And so finally, if people want to learn more about Lawn Doctor of West Palm Beach, where do they go?
Just go to lawndoctor.com, type in your zip code, and they'll get you to us. It's real simple.
Okay. Lawndoctor.com. There you go. So thanks for listening to Vibe Your Vibe. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it.